Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's question comes from a house cleaner who was hired by a husband to clean a particular house. When she got to the house, the wife was there, and the wife had a whole different set of rules and requirements than the husband when she did the initial walkthrough with the husband and the wife wasn't at home. And so her question is, what am I supposed to do? Do I follow the instructions of the husband or do I follow the instructions of the wife? All right, this is a really sticky situation, but let's go ahead and talk about this because this is important. Let me share a short story with you first. Yesterday, there was a guy that came to my house to fix my sprinkling system. And any of you that know me know that I've had this ongoing weird relationship with sprinkler repairmen because the pipes keep busting and they come over like 12 or 13 times a year to fix my sprinkling system. So the sprinkler guy comes yesterday, and when he gets to my house, he tells me that the rain sensor that he's about to put in is not compatible with the system that I have. And he wants to know, do I want to do this, that, or the other with my sprinkler system? Okay, now having been in the house cleaning business for years and seen this exact same problem where you have one boss and then now there's someone else when you get to the house, that's exactly what we ran into. There was a guy that came out to bid the job and he spoke with my husband. Then my husband went to work and this guy that was the boss went and gave instructions to his people. His people came to my house and I was at home when they came. So now the person that bid the job and the person that agreed to the job are not the people that are talking now, right? So what's happening is they're getting a message from their boss and I'm going to call him my boss, the one that gave the orders. We're not dealing with those people anymore. So if his repairman asks me a question, if I give him different or conflicting information, that muddles the water when he goes back to his boss and his boss says, well, why didn't you do X, Y, Z? Because the homeowner wanted me to do this. To see what I'm saying? So what I said is, hey, I wasn't here when the job was bid. You were not here when the job was bid. You were given specific orders from your boss. I don't know what my husband told your boss. So I'm going to stand out of it. And if you have a question, you can call your boss and have your boss call my husband. Because I don't know, I wasn't there. And I'm happy to pay you whatever they agreed to. But I don't want to give you new instructions because I don't know what the job was for. I don't know how the job was bid. I don't have that information, okay? So out of courtesy to my husband and the guy that bid the job, I stayed out of it. Okay, that's my story. Now let's go back to house cleaning for a minute. When you go to bid a job, let's say that you are the owner of the company and you show up and you bid a job with a husband and the husband walks you through and he says, these are the hot points. You work for the husband, okay? You do not work for the wife, you work for the husband. If he is the person that did the walkthrough and he is the one that is writing your check, you work for the husband, not the wife. Now, if the wife has the authority to come in and change those rules and change what you're paid and change what she's going to complain about and change what the hot buttons are, then he needs to give you permission to have her become the new boss. Now, it could be a simple thing where he gives permission and just says, hey, my wife is going to be home. You'll be dealing with my wife from here on out. But as long as you know that now she is the boss and that he knows that she is the boss, then you can take your orders from the wife. But if the husband has his own set of rules and regulations and he is willing to pay a job based on a conversation the two of you had, it gets really, really messy when suddenly there's a new boss in the mix. So even though there are two people that live in the same house, there can only be one boss. And so I hate to say this, but as I go to bid a house, I ask the question. I literally come out and I ask the question, who am I working for? Am I working for you or am I working for your wife? And I just want to make sure so that if I have questions, if there are questions that come up, it doesn't matter who the other person is. If they're not the one writing the check, they don't get to have an opinion. It is too difficult to have multiple bosses, even if they live in the same house. I made the mistake early in my career where I was cleaning a house and there was a mother, there was a father, and there was a grandmother that all gave me orders, and their orders all conflicted and none of them communicated with each other. And I would make myself crazy trying to jump through all these weird hoops where one person would go, that's not important, don't worry about that. And the other person is like, well, I'm not paying you because you didn't do that. I didn't do that because I was told I didn't need to do that, and that wasn't the focus of the day. So make really clear as you bid a job that you know who your boss is. And I'm not saying this to be ugly, but you can't take orders from multiple people. So if you're doing a walkthrough, is it safe to assume that you're the person I will be reporting back to? Is it safe to assume the check comes from you? Is it safe that if I have questions, you're the person I'm coming to? And if they say, no, I'm not the person at all, it's really my spouse, I'll tell you what, let's stop this walkthrough and let's have your spouse come in so that they can show me what the hot points are, because I don't want to set up something with you that then is either not important to her or she wants something else done. So love talking to you, and it was really great to meet you, but let me then speak with her instead if you don't mind. And a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, I never even thought of that. And then the wife will come in and you do the walkthrough. Okay, so from now on, just make sure that there is clarity up front. Otherwise, you will totally make yourself crazy and you will bill that customer as a high maintenance customer when maybe they're just trying to communicate. All right, so that's my tip for today. Now, if you learned anything from today's session, do leave a comment in the notes below and let me know what one takeaway you learned from today. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.